My name is Dr. Robert Schwarz, and I went to visit my Congressman Pat Meehan on behalf of Voice for Hope. I met with Rachel Cook, his assistant on healthcare affairs. The experience was very interesting because we thought it would be, I was told that it would be about 15 minutes. It ended up lasting 30 minutes, which is exciting. I had done my homework and read and looked up Congressman Meehan's website, and he has an interest in veterans, and he is involved in something called Veterans Court that he sponsored. So after introducing the idea that I'm there for Voice for Hope and we are educators about the power of natural health care, I started to ask her some questions about this Veterans Court that he was in, and it turns out that it had to do with soldiers who have PTSD get in trouble with the law, and this is a diversionary approach. So, which is a perfect segue from my other interest, which is using energy psychology approaches as an example of alternative healthcare, and so that gave me a perfect in to talk about that with her. So we talked about that for a while, and then we talked about things like where she actually went. I'm a constituent. She lives in the same area. She went to American University. My son is going to American University. And it was just that we had a lovely time. It went on for 30 minutes. It was great. So a couple of things I learned about this process, for me at least, was as follows. One was I was a little nervous about this. And as I thought about it afterwards, I realized that there's this kind of in the back of your mind fear that you're going to be met with some kind of wall or some kind of why are you here in a negative way. And I think the impulse then is to try to have to overcome that wall and try hard and sell your story. And that's not the thing to do at all. The thing is to go slow, to just have a conversation, to not give in to that. So that was the first thing I would say. The second thing had to do, I think I got very clear about, was the idea of it's very important to pause. That you say something, you say an idea, whatever it is, and then you close your mouth and you wait so that they can come forward. So if you string 2 or 3 or 4 things together really quick like this and you keep going, oh my God. But if you just say one idea and then you stop and wait, then they say something, or they nod their head, or they say, like she said, so is one of those alternative healthcare is like homeopathy? Yes, homeopathy is one of the things. Oh, it's like, you mean like acupuncture? That's another thing. In fact, and then we could talk a little bit more about all the, there are many different brands. The benefit of doing this for me, and I think for others might be, there are a couple. One, if you're the kind of person that has sort of decided that you don't want to deal with this stuff, and this politics stuff that gets you all upset, those guys are evil or crazy or whatever, and you want to leave this nice calm life over here. The problem is that you're so disengaged, and it turns out that if you go, I had a very nice talk with a very lovely person. I have no idea what's going to come of it, but I feel more engaged. I feel a little more connected to the plan here. That feels kind of nice, I have to say. Two, we do need to do this. These guys are, if you're interested in facilitating natural health care in the system, I think we need to do this. 3, and I can say this, I was there with a pretty broad agenda for Voice for Hope, but I also found a way to kind of have a little bit of the more narrow agenda of energy psychology for vets, for PTSD and vets, which is very important for my organization and what I'm about. So I'm sure that you can find ways to kind of support the broad approach as well as support something that you feel is important. So as the executive director of ACEP, we have a 1,300 member organization, I see Voice for Hope as a strategic ally for us, working at the level of governmental policy at national and state levels.